So I'm going to show you just a few little pieces of what is going on behind the scenes. I have watched through every video again to do this, and I'm blown away by the quality of what you are going to get. So hang on, I'm going to let you see a few sneak previews here and a few bloopers. And you do have to know that I had bronchitis for about 10 days of doing these recordings. So in some of them I look like I'm sick. Please don't phone anybody who was sick. But despite that, this is so important that I managed to pull through, and I just managed to sit there because everybody is so professional, they could just speak. And they did, and they did an awesome job. And you will see now, because here's your little clips coming up. Enjoy.
So if there's somebody out there who's asking, and I'm feeling hopeless, what can I do? I would strongly suggest you stop long enough just with the pen and paper and write down what is so stunning and beautiful about you. What do you do that touches other people's lives in your everyday life that you've forgotten, you look at, or this armor or shield that I had that prevented me from seeing the world when I started to pull and tear away at it, and it's a painful process. It is an extremely painful process to look at yourself. And I had to, if I was going to grow in any way.
Louise. But it's the deal of, I would say that we were a family that looked good on the outside, but might as well have had a toxic waste platform on the inside, because it was just bullshit. It was just, appearances over everything. And so that internal sense of who I was and who I am, I get goosebumps thinking about it, to be honest with you. Just was destroyed. My reason for being on this planet, I believe, is to disrupt at a core level multi-generational patterns in families, humans, adult humans, and organizations.
Is held with our mind,
Yes.
continuing imaginary conversations, imaginary scenarios. And that's when our mental programming built up from our life experiences and what we've perceived as going on, which is usually far from the truth of it.
Yeah.
Just like a sexual function issue, people think that they're broken. Nah, you just haven't had a sex education relevant to completing a sexual act with a partner. That's all.
Yeah.
It's really simple to solve.
The lawyer. And he thought that was cute when she was little. For me, I felt humiliated that my daughter was defending me. Yet I knew that if I spoke up, it would just be more fire to the flames. So my being mute, she didn't know, was actually to keep things calmer. But from her, you just put yourself in this child's position. She's seen a mother who's not speaking up, not showing up, not being confident. What kind of a role model is that? Right? So it was a lose-lose for me. I was trying to be quiet to keep peace because I knew it would inflame him more, and then she would see his anger more. But then she was seeing a mother who really wasn't being a true.
Because to me, if you sit down and you grieve some of these losses, oh my goodness. I can remember even just getting a sad movie, just something that would make me feel my emotions, because you know what? We go around pretty much at the time trying not to feel. We can do anything to keep us from feeling. And that's what I started doing, welcoming those feelings and just trying to bring them up. But I journaled a lot.
Yes, I was definitely a mess. I was very unhappy. I remember just being sad. I remember one time my dad coming to visit. He was in Las Vegas for business. He had no idea what was happening to me, but I remember him coming in. I wanted to get in his lap. Like I wanted to have that safety. Here I am, a grown woman trying to get in my dad's lap, but I so desperately wanted to tell him and couldn't, and wanted to feel safe, And he didn't say anything or ask me anything. I don't think he had a clue. But it was years later I realized, oh my gosh, I was like this little girl trapped. And I remember feeling so trapped. I remember thinking I'm never going to escape. And that's a horrible feeling. And to think that you're going to be stuck in that for the rest of your life. So when I called my mom that day, that was pivotal, huge. And I can still remember what it felt like to all of a sudden have this overwhelming sense of peace and freedom. Like the fear left. It was amazing. I had so much strength.
At first, you have, the first question would be, are you willing to accept healing? Are you willing to move on? Because some people are having staycation in pain. Pain became their comfort in a way. They want to stay there because I'm okay just having this pain. That became their, what do you call this? Like I said, comfort zone. So they got used to having pain. Mm-hmm. But they're forgetting that there's another, or there's a better way of living, not only through pain, but you can also allow yourself to enjoy life.
I got a tummy ache. That's the physical indication that the emotions are not at ease, and a form of dis-ease is showing itself. So the more you bury whatever it is that's bothering you and judge it as being something you shouldn't be feeling, the more ill at ease you become, and the more the dis-ease manifests inside you. So when you can understand that, your body becomes your messenger. So whatever part of your body is showing dis-ease is saying to you, that's where you've buried whatever that angst was. And if you can take the emotions and bring them into open-hearted acceptance and appreciation, the dis-ease will disintegrate. And then actually that particular illness balances out.
And I was on the volleyball team. And when I got into high school volleyball, we had to wear this uniform, and the pants were called buns. And they look like underwear. Like they're that short, or like a bikini bottoms. And I was mortified because I've always had big thighs. Even as a kid, I always had chubby thighs. So I went on Weight Watchers specifically for this outfit. And the night before school started, I put on the outfit, and I had lost some weight. I think I'd lost like 20 pounds that summer. And I came into the kitchen to show my mom, and she goes, "Oh, you don't look as bad as I thought you would."
I'm a big believer in being positive and what you tell yourself, because the world tells us negative things. People tell us negative things, but we need to hear our own self-talk. We need to hear positive things that we can do, that we believe in ourselves, that we love ourselves enough to fight. So my idea with the coloring book is, besides I love flowers and beautiful things, I love words.
And then once I had kind of gotten clear, once that 10 years had passed, and I started to piece together what was going to work for me, because you need to, in my experience, you need to believe in something. There's something that needs to tether you, right? It's like just this randomness. It doesn't feel right to me. I can't prove it, but I work from the premise that each of us individually came here on purpose. I've come to the realization for myself, I believe that I came to experience everything I've experienced up until now, everything. There was no mistake, even though it was painful, sometimes horrific, sometimes like confusing. All of that informs who I've become, and I'm not a mistake.
Group of people, peers, colleagues, staff that I worked with on a daily basis. And we lived in a wonderful family home near the university, and I just had everything. 10 years later, I had basically lost everything. what happened was my husband passed away of cancer.
But in junior school, I actually got teased because I have a hollow back. So my bum, bootay, which now is a good thing, sticks out more than others. And yeah, I think I was about 10, 11 when I started getting teased at school. I don't think about it often, but when I have to talk about things or when I'm doing my courses and I talk about it, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. Like now it doesn't bother me as much, but you don't realize how much these little issues and getting bullied and things that people say actually stick with you, and then you've carrying it subconsciously like your whole life. So yeah, I was called like helium bum and things like that. And I mean, like when you're 11 years old, 10 years old, and it's like older girls at school, and you're like, oh. So I think it definitely affected me from them. And I always try to like kind of tuck my tailbone under when I was standing.
On the spur of the moment, which is quite horrific. I can laugh about it now, but when you think about the consequences of it, if that's really what happened, my goodness me, that was quite a decision that was certainly very much life-changing for a lot of us. And them included, me included, and not just me, but future generations as well. And this is what people don't always understand, is that the decisions that we make are going to affect people in front of you, the generations in front of you, and not just you or the person next to you who's living with you or whoever, the people that surround you. And
I deal with the nutrition. Nutrition's huge for me. But it's also the lifestyle, it's the supplements. We got to go back to what have you been dealing with? What's the trauma? What is going on now in your life? Is there any stresses you're having now? How's your home environment, right? It's all a bunch of different things. It's not just food. I feel like people get stuck on the food, but
feeling secure. And then when I was married, did I say married in amongst that? Yes, married was one of them. All the things we're expected to do. That's what I'm trying to say, is I did all the things that we were expected to do. And then one night, seemingly to me at the time, out of the blue, everything changed. I woke up, I knew that my now ex-husband was, I could feel him move from my heart, put it that way. I knew something had happened.
Really helped. And one of my belief systems was, through suffering can come great transformation if you allow it. But I had to figure out, and I couldn't in the beginning because I hadn't met you yet. So I just sat there one day and I said to God, and I realized I didn't even have a very good belief system. Actually, it was all intellectual. All my knowledge, my beliefs, my everything was sitting in my conscious, but my subconscious was faulty.
So when you look at the situation, and especially in the case of narcissism, where there is literally a subconscious generational trauma at work, which has got its roots in patriarchy, then any woman, and it doesn't matter how powerful she is, will be affected. I've seen it over again. There's some great women in the world onto the public scene and that I know, and I know behind the scenes what they've gone through. And what
because I don't know about you, but I've never seen anybody involved with a narcissist who doesn't fear the narcissists.
Absolutely, because they've terrified you, they've terrorized you, they've destroyed your life. And I mean, I've got people in my groups who've said they've been emotionally abused, financially abused, sexually abused. They've been stripped of everything. They've got nothing, even their kids. This is huge. Parental alienation is massive in the world of narcissists. And it's heartbreaking because they're so good and clever at making up stuff and making.
Okay, now that you've seen these little pieces, I hope that you're going to sign up for the lifetime. Because once it's yours forever. And you want to be able to go back and rewind and do this and make time for it. And I hope you are going to watch all 20 interviews honestly, there's not a single one that I would want to throw out. So thank you for sitting through this. Talk to you soon. Bye. Okay, so we're just going to fall into it straight. There's no like big introductions because all your credentials is above the video, so people can just read it. And no, please don't thank me profusely for the honor of being on here. We don't want to bore people to death. Okay. Okay, so I don't know which day you are on. I don't
Thursday.
know on which day of the 4 days you're on. I have taken wearing just black, so that so there's continuity.
Nobody is perfect.
Yeah, that doesn't exist.
Nobody.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't exist at
I
all.
will edit it, but I'm going to try to edit as little as possible out.
Yeah.
So in case I get an unbearable fit of coughing, I will edit it out. Then just stop.
Okay. How's your internet been? Because I know it sometimes goes off, doesn't it, and does its own thing.
It's been much better this last 2 weeks, and we've just heard it from the 1st of April. Thank you very much. 1st of April, we'll get some high-speed internet.
Right, good.
Yeah, but that's the
Makes a
1st of
difference.
April. It's not today. It's the 1st of April.
No. Wow.
Okay. Right. We are recording. Let me make sure, because you do know what I don't want to do.
Go on.
Say, Charmaine, you know,
I forgot to press the recording button. I did that the other day.
Can you remember everything you want to? No, watch.
Oh, we're recording.
Oh, watch me now. I am recording.
Yes.
Sorry. Right. Okay, so let's see if we can set another record for the longest conversation ever. Hello and welcome to my lovely friend Afi Moore. And Afi is one of the most inspirational women.
I can tell ourselves negative. The world tells us negative things, but we need to tell ourselves positive things. We need to feed ourselves positive things. And that's what the book is. Hold on. What? Just 5 minutes, guys, please. You're doing so good. Just 1 second. 5 minutes. I'll be right down. I promise.